Bugungi darsimizda Cambridge 11-testimizning 4-testi va ikkinchi passajni analizini ko'rib chiqamiz va birinchi navbatda bu testda bizdan nimani tushunish kutilayotganligini bilish uchun titlni ko'rib chiqamiz va o'zingiz ko'rganingizdek bu qismda an introduction to film sounds demak qismda film industry haqida bo'lar ekan savollari. Bundan keyin esa biz savol turlarini ko'rib chiqishimiz kerak. O'zingiz ko'rganingizdek bu qismda multiple choice questions and true false not given questions and matching information questions savollari berilgan va bu qismdagi savollarni javoblari bu ochiq oydin unquestionably will be in the paragraphs. And now we have to read paragraphs. Chunki bu paragraflar berilgan va bu paragraflardagi javoblarni berish uchun mana third paragraph berilgan, first paragraph berilgan. Bu javoblarni topish uchun bu paragraf butunlay o'qishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Va bu butunlay o'qigan vaqtimizda agar hammasini o'qib, multiple choice savollariga javoblarni berib, hammasini tugatib, keyin true false notga o'tadigan bo'lsak, bu baribir o'qigan bo'lamiz savollarni, javoblarni. Lekin bu savollarga javoblar qolib ketgan bo'ladi qayoqdadir. Qanaqa qilib qolib ketgan bo'ladi qayoqdadir. In a meaning that nima demoqchiman, bunaqa qolib ketgan bo'ladi. Chunki masalan, butun tekstni tugatdingiz, multiple choice'ni tugatdingiz, true false notga uchun yana bir marta o'sha paragrafga qaytishingiz, o'shalarni eslashingiz, o'shalarni qaytadan o'qishingiz kerak bo'ladi. Bu degani biz vaqt yo'qotamiz, energiya yo'qotamiz. O'shuning uchun ham bu multiple choice savollarni bajarganda nima qilish eng yaxshi? True false not degan savollar bo'lsa, savollarni o'qib keting, chunki tartibda keladi. Masalan, 19 ta keywordni topib oldingizmi, 20 ta keywordni topib oldingizmi, demak, bu true false not degan javoblarga ham, savollarga ham javob berib ketish imkoniyatingiz bo'ladi. Shuning uchun ham true false not degan javoblarni o'qib olaman. Men savollarni o'qib olaman. Audiences are likely to be surprised if a film lacks background music. Demak, background music bo'lmasa, surprise bo'lish ehtimoli katta deyishgan. Background music may anticipate a development in a film. Demak, bu background music filmdagi developmentni anticipate qilib berishi mumkin. O'zingiz ko'rib olasizlar. Xo'p, shuni topishimiz kerak va bu qismda esa the audience response to different parts of the film can be controlled something if when ko'ramiz. Controlni topishimiz kerak. Endi birinchi savolni o'qishimiz kerak. Birinchi savolni tushunib, javobni topishga harakat qilishimiz kerak. In the first paragraph, the writer makes a point that. Demak, birinchi paragrafni o'qib tushunishimiz kerak bu qismda. So we might think of film as an essential visual experience. We really cannot afford to underestimate the importance of film sound. Okay, a meaningful soundtrack is often as complicated as the image of the screen. Okay, it's ultimately just as much responsibility of the director. Okay, the entire soundtrack consists of 3 essential ingredients. Okay, so human voice, sound effects, and music. These 3 tracks must be mixed and balanced so as to produce the necessary emphasis, which in turn create desired effects. Topics which essentially refer to the previous mentioned tracks are discussed below. They include dialogue, synchronous and asynchronous sound effects and music. Demak, qismda visual experience dan tashqari film soundlarning muhimligi va qanaqa turlarga bo'linishi ma'lumot berilgan. Director should plan the soundtrack at an early stage haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Early stage haqida umuman ma'lumot yo'q. It would be wrong to overlook the contribution of music to the artistry of the music bor bu qismda. Chunki masalan as complicated degan cannot afford to underestimate degan mana. Overlook, underestimate bu qismda keyword. The music industry can have a beneficial influence on sound of film haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Music industry haqida ma'lumot yo'q. It's important for those who working on the sound on a film to have sole responsibility. Bu haqida ma'lumot yo'q, sole responsibility haqida. Shuning uchun ham bino olamiz. On one reason the writer refers to Humphrey Bogart is exemplified. Demak, qismda Humphrey Bogartni o'qishimiz kerak. Bu qismda mana bu bor. Exemplify nimani misolni bergan? Shuni topishimiz kerak. Let us start with dialogue. Demak, dialogni misolni berdi. As is the case with the stage drama, dialogue serves to tell the story, express feelings and motivations of characters. Often with film characterization, the audience perceives little or no difference between character and the actor. Thus, for example, the actor is the character. Some spade film personality and live personality seem to merge. Perhaps it's because the very texture of performance voice applies as an element of a character. Demak, qismda o'z ko'rganingiz dialoglar va dialogni maqsadlari, telling the story, expressing feelings, motivation of characters. Bu qismda xarakter bilan bu aktyor o'rtasidagi farqni ko'rmaydi va Bogartni o'sha ovozini xarakterda bir qismiga aylanib ketganligini ko'rish mumkin. Importance of actor and the character appearing to have similar personalities. Bu qismda bor, mayli, ayni olishimiz mumkin. Audience wish that actors are visually appropriate haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Visual appropriate haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Value of the actor have had similar feeling haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Audience preference for dialogue to be as authentic haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Shuning uchun ayni olishga majbur bo'lamiz. 3-paragrafni o'qiymiz. Insert paragraph writer suggest. Demak, nimani suggest qilishar ekan bu qismda? Lekin rangni o'zgartira olmasak, hozir qiynalib qolamiz, chunki zerikarli bo'lib qoldi. Qisqartiramiz. Also, voice actors fit the performance psychogrammy and gestures, a whole and very realistic person emerged. The viewer sees not an actor working at his craft, but another human being struggling with life. It's interesting to note that how dialogue is used and the very amount of dialogue used varies dividing highly among films. For example, in its highly successful science fiction film 2001, little dialogue was evident. Most of it was banal of little intrinsic interest, but in this way, the filmmaker was able to portray what this called introduction to film. The inadequacy of human responses when compared with the magnificent technology created by man and the visual beauty of the universe. What the hell is this thing? Demek boqsimda demak voice texture bilan psychogrammy bilan gesturelarning ahamiyati, undan keyin esa o'sha shunaqa bo'ladigan bo'lsa, bu craftsman artwork bo'lishi emasligi, balki odam sifatida qabul qilishimiz, dialoglarni filmlar bo'yicha farqlanishi berilgan va 2001-yildagi science fiction film misol keltirilgan. Audience are likely to be critical haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Film dialogue appears to be dull may have a specific purpose haqida ma'lumot bor. Mana boshida dialogue was evident, most of it was banal and little of interesting value. In this way, shu yo'l bilan able to portray inadequacy of human response. Demak, boshida specific purpose bo'lgan. Filmmaker is very considerably in the skill haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Handle dialogue haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Most successful films are those with dialogue high quality haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Shuning uchun ham bino olamiz. Ma'lumot yo'q. Bu oson. Faqatgina o'qisangiz, tushunsangiz, agar ozgina tushunsangiz, tekstni tushunishingiz mumkin, chunki ABCD berilgan bo'lsa, masalan, 3 ta variant umuman unga aloqador bo'lmagan ma'lumotlarni berib, shuni topish oson. Bu ma'lumotlarni topish. Bring your baby haqida nimani suggest qilar ekan? Uni topishimiz kerak. Comedy Bring Your Baby was 100% practically non-stop dialogue delivered at breakneck speed. Its use of dialogue underscores not only the dizzy quality of the character, but also the absurdity of the film itself and thus its humor. The audience is bounded from gag to gag and conversation. There's no time for audience reflection. The audience got up in a whirlwind of activity. It's simply managing to follow the plot. The film represents pure escapism, largely due to frantic dialogue. The plot suffers from filmmakers' wish to focus on humorous dialogue haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Dialogue helps to make it one of the best comedy haqida ma'lumot yo'q. There is a mismatch between the speed of dialogue and speed of action haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Nature of the dialogue emphasizes key elements of the film. To'g'ri ma'lumot bor. Nature of the dialogue demak ko'pligi, emphasize key elementlar demak bu franticligini ko'rsatib beradi haqida ma'lumot bor. Xo'p, nimaga key elements bilan dialogue? Mana qismda this mana delivered breakneck speed, its use of dialogue underscores emphasize degan ma'lumot. Mana emphasize sinonimida underscore bu qismda emphasize sinonimi. Key elements not only the dizzy quality of the character but also the absurdity of the film and its humor. Demak, o'shani ko'rsatib berar ekan, menga javoblar bo'lganligi qiynayapti-man, chunki очевидный bo'lyapti. Menga ham masalan javoblar, shu javob ekan, lekin sizlarga tushuntirib ketmayapman-da. O'shani nimadir qilishimiz kerak, bolalar. Keyin aniq qilinglar, masalan, bu auditoriya uchun komment qoldiringlar. Nima qilsang yaxshiroq bo'ladi? O'shanga qarab biz ham to'g'rilaymiz muammolarimizni. Keyingisiga o'tamiz. Writer refers to the click of a door to make the point that the realistic sound click of a door. Where's click of door? Yeah, here. For example, deyishgan ekan, bundan oldin bo'ladi javob, chunki buni misol sifatida keltirishyapti, o'qish kerak. Synchronous sound effects are those sounds which are synchronized and matched with what is viewed. For example, if a film portrays a character playing the piano, the sounds of the piano are projected. Synchronous sounds contribute to the realism of the film, also help to create a particular atmosphere. Demak, qismda synchronous sound muhimligi. Often used to give the audience false impression of events haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Interpreted in different ways by different members haqida ma'lumot yo'q. May be modified in order to manipulate the audience. Yo'q, hali o'qimabmiz javobni bo'lmasa. For example, a click of a song being opened may simply serve to convince the audience that the image portrayed is real, and the audience may only subconsciously know the expected sound. However, if the click of an opening door is part of an ominous sound, such as burglary, the sound mixer may call the attention to the click with an increase in volume. This helps to engage the audience in a moment of suspense. Demak, o'qishda ikki xil vaziyatda manipulyatsiya qilish. Mana manipulyatsiya bor, may be modified in order to manipulate the auditorial response. Mana auditoriya qanaqa response qilishni manipulyatsiya qilsa bo'ladi. Agar unaqa teparoq qilib ko'tarsa click of the soundni, bu suspense bo'ladi. Demak, burglary bo'lishi haqida. Prosta oddiy kelsa, bu portrayal, bu imajning real bo'lgani, bu real sodir bo'lganligini ko'rsatish uchun ishlatiladi. More significant, realistic. No. Oh, I'm tired. Xo'p, demak, ozgina pauza olaman, xafa bo'lmaysizlar, bolalar. Tanaffusdan keyin endi kengashga o'tamiz. Audiences are likely to be surprised if a film lacks background music. Demak, bu qismni topishimiz kerak, bu qismni. Surprised. Xo'p. Qayerdan topamiz endi surprisedni? Xo'p. Background music haqida ma'lumot bor, lekin bu rangni o'zgartira olmasak bo'lmaydi. Ko'payib ketdi bu rang. Xo'p, topib olishimiz kerak endi. Bu qismda o'qimadim. Sound effects on the other hand are not matched with the visible source of the sound on screen, such as answer includes also as to provide an appropriate emotional nuance, and they may also add to the realism of the film. A filmmaker might opt to include the background sound of an ambulance siren, while the foreground sounds an imaginary portrays an arguing couple. The asynchronous sound ambulance siren in the course of psychic injury incurred in the argument. At the same time, the noise of the siren adds to the realism of the film by acknowledging the film's city setting. You're probably all familiar with background music in film, which has become so ubiquitous as to noticeable in its absence. Buni yozib qo'yibdi. Demak, yozib qo'yibdi. Agar we probably familiar, hammamiz bilamiz, which has become so ubiquitous. Demak, shunchalik ko'payib ketdiki, agar yo'q bo'lsa, o'sha noticeable. Chunki ana bo'lamiz. Payqaymiz, o'sha yo'q bo'lsa. Demak, payqaymiz, demak, hayron bo'lamiz, to'g'ri keladi. Lekin mayli. Background music may anticipate the development in a film. Demak, usually not meant to be noticeable. It often provides a tone or emotional attitude towards the story and the characters depicted, and background music often foreshadows and change in mood. Mana shunday yozilgan. Mana foreshadows change in a mood. Demak, shunda kayfiyat o'zgarishini ko'rsatib beradi, bu qismni anticipate qilib beradi. Shuning uchun ham turli qilamiz. For example, dissonant music may be used in the film to indicate an approaching but not yet visible menace or disaster. Demak, shunda bu ham turli bo'ladi. Background music has more effect. Bu keyword emas, background music. Hammasi background music ko'p. More effect on some people than others. Demak, shunda ba'zi odamlarga qaraganda boshqa odamlarda effekt ko'proq. Background music may aid viewer understanding by linking scenes. For example, a particular music theme associated with an individual character or situation may be repeated at various points in the film in order to remind the audience of a salient motives or ideas. Whatever. Demak, bu qismda not giving yozilgan, not giving o'xshayapti. Shuning uchun men keyingi qismni o'qishim kerak. Chunki agar keyingi qismni topa oladigan bo'lsam, bu degan not giving bo'lishi mumkin, katta ehtimollik bilan degan bo'ladi. Chunki o'z bilganingizdek, ular tartibda keladi va orada masalan 20 bilan 22 ning orasida bo'ladi, 21 doim. Xo'p, background music may help the audience to make certain connections within the film. Mana yozilgan mana. Individual characters and situation may be repeated at various points in order to remind audience of salient motives and ideas. True bo'ladi bu qism. Bu qism true bo'ladi. Ana bo'lsa not given bo'lar ekan rostdan ham. Xo'p, nimaga deyish mumkin? Certain connections here remind them. Audience tend to be aware of how the background music is affecting them. Tend to be aware. Demak, shunda background music ularni qanaqa qilib o'zgartirayotganligini, ta'sir qilayotganligini aware bo'ladi. Compared to conventions and innovations, we have come to expect acceleration of music during car chases and clear corridors in all films. Yet it's important to note as well that sound is often brilliantly conceived. The effects of sound are often largely subtle and are not noted by our subconscious minds. We need to foster an awareness of films such as to truly appreciate an art form that demek The effects of sound are on largely subtle and are noted by our subconscious mind. Noted, bilinadi, ko'riladi, yozilgan. Tend to be aware deyishgan maqsadda aware biladi, bu qismni subconscious level biladi. And we need to foster an awareness of film sound as well as the film space to us to truly appreciate an art form. Demak, we need to foster awareness deyapti. Awarenessni topishimiz kerak, develop qilishimiz kerak deyapti. Subconscious faqat bilamiz deyapti. O'sha uchun ham bunda false bo'ladi. Bo'ldi, boshqa video olmas ekanman. Bugun o'zi yaxshi sifatda chiqmadi videolar. Xo'p, kerak, tushunarli bo'ldi degan umiddaman. Keyingi qismga o'tamiz. Hemi controlled by Mambo yoqda o'qigandik menimcha. Demak, soundlar bilan synchronous sound bilan. Yeah, voice sound command appropriate. Demak, shunday. C. Here. Now. No. No. Bu qism qayerda bor edi? Bu qism mana bu yerda bor edi. Mana. Hammasi birga kelsa, realistic personal image. Bu qismda mana shu javobni olishimga sabab mana shu qismda gap bo'lgan. Feelings and motivations demak qismda ketdi. Of characters become clear. Feelings and motivations. No, not 100%. 100%. Yeah, ana bu dialog bo'lsin. Hozir dialog topa olamiz hozir. Nimaga dialog bo'lishini. Xo'p, qayerdan topamiz? Mana dialog bu taqsimda berilganda. Mana. Qismda bor. Qisqasi bilan bugungi darsimiz o'z oxiriga yetadi. Men uzr so'rayman. Bu video juda ham yomon chiqdi. Agar kommentariyada qoldirsanglar, yomon chiqdi, qaytadan olinglar desanglar, qaytadan olishga harakat qilamiz. Bye bye guys. Thank you for